This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we see.
I would say the overwhelming emotion that I am feeling this morning is shock. Absolute shock. Stunned. Blown away. The unexpected has occurred, you guys.
Why?
Oh, did you think I was talking about Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers, too?
No, I knew you were talking about Indiana. But it's opposite Gabe. I mean, this was a no-brainer. Jeez,
what I said in 5. I got 4 games left, man.
They ain't happening there, bro. Yet. Indiana in 6.
Whoa. What a prediction.
OPP.
So the other night, Joshy and I were at Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're looking at the old options. And Joshy starts eyeing the over-under. 231, a couple of teams that can really shoot the lights out. And he says, I really like the over. I said, yeah, let's do it. So we throw a little money down on the over. Well, that did not hit. And ordinarily, guys, I would be disappointed that Joshy and I didn't hit on our bet. But you know what?
This is like 2 of the best defensive teams in the league. This is like going into Steelers-Ravens going, you know what? Let's bet the over.
That game was so wholly entertaining that I don't even care. It was worth the $20 that I put on the over, Gabe. That was the price of admission for that fantastic game last night, where OKC, again, for the majority of the game, for almost the entire game, they have a sizable lead. 11, 12. Now the Pacers would close. They get close. All of a sudden, we're 8, 6, 4. Oh, my goodness. And when Tyrese Halliburton hit that shot with 0.3 seconds left on the clock, I yelped. I was giddy. I was excited. And I wonder if Craig Karmazin, who joins us now here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, usually does in about 30 minutes, but he's got a flight to catch, who was at the game last night, did the same. Good morning, Craig. How are you doing today after being in the building for another unbelievable Pacers win?
It was unbelievable. I was not in the building for the comeback against the Bucks. I was not in the building for the comeback against the Cavs or the Knicks. So it was the first time I've seen one of these comebacks in person, and I can tell you, we all felt it coming. Once Nesmith hit that corner 3 to cut it to 6, we were like, oh my God, this is happening again. And the suite I was sitting in happened to be right next to where the ESPN setup was. So what you just described as being giddy and whatever when that shot went in, like, we turned and literally Stephen A., Malika, Bob Myers, Kirk, Shams, literally all had that expression that I'm sure you had. It was just like a pure, holy crap, this is why we love sports.
Who do you want to win?
So I had said last night that I wanted the Pacers to win last night so that it would have a chance to be a long series, but I'd like to see the Thunder win the series. So I'm sticking with that I didn't want this to be Thunder in 5 because I thought that would be disrespectful to just how good the Pacers are. So I'd like to see it a longer series, but I can't handle the Pacers winning the championship, but they're so good and they're so enjoyable to watch.
Why can't you handle that?
Yeah, this is like Detroit playing the Chargers. I would root for Detroit. Why wouldn't you?
You'd root for your division?
Of course. Yes.
I don't know.
I never understood that, rooting against your division.
I mean, these Thunder fans, I was at Game 6, Knicks-Pacers on Saturday, and I was at the game last night, and I choose the Thunder fans over the Pacers fans. So I'm rooting. Neither team's ever won a championship. The Pacers have won ABA championships. The Thunder, by the way, if they win this year, this could be the first of many. But, yeah, I don't know. There's something in me that I just naturally can't gravitate toward rooting for the Pacers. But I mean, what Tyrese Halliburton has done in the clutch, like you could look at Michael Jordan, you can look at anybody's clutch stats in the history of the NBA. Nothing has compared to what he's done in this postseason. And Gabe, to your point about these being great defenses, they are, but they play at such a high pace that you can't blame Jen and Joshy for going with the over. But I've just never seen anything like what we saw in the first half. The Pacers turned the ball over 20 times, but the Thunder did not convert. I've never seen so many turnovers without converting them into points. How do you have 20 turnovers and you don't convert them into double-digit points? There were just so many points left on the court in the first half.
Wait, so you were in the building for Pacers-Knicks. Now you're in the building for Game 1. Are you actually like morphing? I know you said you're not rooting for the Pacers necessarily, but it seems like you've gone to more Pacer games than Buck games this postseason.
Well, to be fair, there have been a lot more.
Well, yeah, but you got to travel for all of them. Yeah. Like, he's a busy guy, and he's going to all these different Indiana Pacer games. What are we doing, Craig?
I know. I was at I was at, I think, 3 home Knicks games. My daughter got into the Knicks, so that is why we drove from Milwaukee. It was, short 4.5-hour drive last Saturday for Knicks Pacers. So no, so this is great. When I reached out to the Pacers about tickets, through the Bucks, they were like, "So, are you going to be rooting for the NBA or are you going to be rooting for the Knicks at Game 6?" And you all know I love to wear my NBA gear, right? That's just like my Rob Lowe NBA gear. So when I said that, they were like, "Okay, here's some row 2 courtside seats that you could buy from us." And we looked at the price tag and we were like, you know what? We probably are going to kind of be rooting for the Knicks. So we ended up buying some tickets on Vivid Seats that were significantly higher up, about 2 sections higher up in the building. But the Pacers were really conscious of that, and it's understandable. Like, right, you don't want in these big games to have high profile or just fans of the other team, jumping up and down every time your team's giving up points.
Did you just call yourself high profile?
No, I said, or other people wearing gear.
Like he would be in a high-profile seat. Like he'd be in a high-profile.
I was just asking. It was a fair question.
Chewy,
Speaking of the Knicks, Craig.
I was starting to go there, and then I realized I was saying that, and I didn't mean that. So, yeah.
Craig, speaking of the Knicks, what do you think of the firing of Tibbs?
I mean, nothing surprises me right now. I mean, it's weird to think that you would do it without having someone in mind, but that's exactly what the Cavaliers did last year, where they just felt like they didn't have the right coach for their team, and they went through an extended process to hire Kenny Atkinson. So I don't think doing it means they necessarily have a coach, and I think we know, based on Denver, based on the Bucks a few years ago, you never know what's going on within a team, so it's tough to question the decision when you don't know it. But Tibbs did an amazing job. I mean, that was one of the train wreck organizations for a long time, and what a job Leon Rose and Tibbs did in really transforming the Knicks into a team that wins playoff series every year. So unbelievable job by Tibbs, but it's hard to blame them when you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes.
All right, Craig, let's get to it. The news yesterday that Aaron Rodgers will indeed sign with the Steelers. I'm not sure that's a big surprise. I think we all saw the tea leaves and the writing on the wall that everything was going to point this direction and end up this way. But realistically, is the Super Bowl now an expectation possibility for this Steelers team, keeping in mind that, they got to get around a few tough AFC teams. One in particular, I think the Ravens still might have something to say about it.
Well, Jen, when you heard the news and when you all heard the news, did you have that same reaction as when Tyrese Halliburton shot went in? Like, oh my God, I love sports. Was that just your reaction when Aaron Rodgers when Schefter officially broke the story?
I think you know the answer to that. I was like this. Oh, that's interesting. In Tommy Boy, when the lady's like, this guy has a bomb strapped to his chest, and he's like, that's interesting. You want to watch Gladiators? That's how I was. You want to watch Gladiators?
My first thought, Craig, was, is Dobbs now available?
Wow. my first thought was exactly what Jen kind of said, was like, man, the AFC is stacked, right? Like, so even if they're really good, they got Joe Burrow in that division. They obviously have Lamar Jackson and the Ravens as, the best complete team, you would think, in that division. We know what else exists in that AFC. Like, it's not like the Chargers are getting any worse, and the Chiefs are there, and the Bills. Like, I was just like, so I think that is the reason he went there, and that's the reason that was the only destination, is that they have a legitimate chance to win. But I don't think it's like, oh, if they don't make the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers is a disappointment. Like, I think that's preposterous to think. But I mean, he's going there to be a playoff team, and I think he's the expectation, for a successful season, you would think, would be at least winning a playoff game. He's not going there to go 9-8 and losing the first round of the postseason, which it feels like the Steelers do a lot of years.
Yeah, but I mean, to the reaction part of it, Craig, this was the expected outcome. The NFL didn't put Packers-Steelers in prime time at the end of October because they thought Mason Rudolph was going to be a really good starter and player for the Steelers.
No, but it's still the reality of it's really fun. And we can all, have our different reactions to Aaron, but Aaron Rodgers makes the NFL significantly more interesting. I think that we can all agree on.
Yeah.
All right. Would you guys, let me ask all three of you, would you have a problem with him winning the Super Bowl? I would not.
I'll tell you this. I'm rooting for the Pacers to win the NBA Finals more than I'm rooting for the Steelers to win the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
Would that
always
put him? So, Chewy, right now, is Brett ahead of him? Because you guys had 2 Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
And Brett had the NFC Championship with the Vikings that he went to. So does he need the Super Bowl to at least catch up to Brett? Like, is Brett ahead of Aaron?
Yeah, because what is it, 4 MVPs to 3? Mm-hmm. So that kind of cancels out the Super Bowl thing. So right now I would say they're a push. I would say even if he goes to the Super Bowl and loses, it puts him ahead of Brett. Fair?
I think so. I think it is legacy defining for him. Just because he's only been to 1 Super Bowl, I think for him to even get to another championship game, maybe people forget about those AFC championships, but I think just getting to an AFC championship would be pretty big for his legacy.
Yeah, because his legacy can't go down. His legacy can only go up. You can't subtract from his legacy at this point.
Right. It's not like a bad year with the Jets for either Favre or Rodgers, hurt their legacies. But now on that second one, you got to give Favre credit for what he did with the Vikings.
Let me ask you this, because Pittsburgh's very similar to Green Bay, a little small market-ish, passionate fans, crazy. How do you think they reacted to this news? They're like, okay, or are they like, here we go, now we got a chance, we're in the mix?
I'm guessing it's split.
His numbers were pretty good last year, even though the Jets stunk. They weren't horrible.
No. But I don't know if they're just kind of used to this, right?
Yeah, I talked
they brought in Russell Wilson last year, and it was kind of the same Steeler team that we've been used to over the last 3 or 4 years.
Early in the offseason, I talked to Steelers fans, and there was a mix. There were some people who are like, Aaron gives us the best chance to win. There are other people who are like, we need to get away from drama. We've had receiver drama. The last thing we need is quarterback drama. And so it was 50-50 when I talked to people. But once all the other quarterback options went away, it became okay, we need Aaron. We're good enough to win every year, and we don't. And Aaron gives us the best chance to win. So I think at this point, Steelers fans are excited because, like you said, Mason Rudolph, is, a guy who they appreciate because he's been around. But I don't think they want to rebuild, right? I think they can compete. And they looked like they could through most of last year, and then they kind of ended the year the way they always do. So, yeah, I think they've all settled that, we need Aaron at this point.
CBSNews.com has an article that is polling some, again, nearly impossible to get the thoughts of every Steelers fan, but some Steelers fans, and to your point, Craig, they're on both sides. Some say he's one of the best to ever do it. We're lucky to have him. And some say I'm concerned about a toxic locker room. I'm concerned about his age. I'm concerned about his durability. So, it's all over the spectrum. But again,
what were their other options at this point, right? I feel like
Cousins.
They went all in on this a while ago.
Cousins, they might have made a move for Cousins. No.
Yeah, if you look at what Cousins, maybe if you just have to realize that when you play for the Vikings, you're going to put up unbelievable numbers and look unbelievably good. Because I think that's what the league is saying about how Vikings quarterbacks are thought of once they leave Minnesota in terms of what their value is, because they all look like $60 million quarterbacks when they're playing for the Vikings.
Greg, we appreciate you taking some time this morning. I know you're about to get on a plane. No, they're not doing this yet here in the United States, but soon they might be fining people who don't behave on airplanes. So, feels like something you need to worry about.
Do you know at the Thunder game, there is a group prayer before the game starts? They have someone on the court,
Really?
and then there's a group prayer. Yeah, it's cool. Just like when you go to different buildings and see different customs and things before the game. So yeah, they actually guy stands out. He has his phone out. And he's just reading like a prayer, and then we go right from that right into the opening introduction. And by the way, we know what this NBA Finals is. It is the matchup between the two teams in the NBA where the highest percentage of people wear the T-shirts that they give out.
Oh, my God, so many white T-shirts. So many white T-shirts last night. Your little story reminds me of back in the day when you used to play the Catholic schools and they'd be like, Jesus loves us. That was the chant from the kids. That's what that reminds me of. Okay, so he's like, we got God on our side.
They will shame you if you don't wear your T-shirts. They put you on the big screen in both Indiana and OKC before the game for about a half hour. Every single person who's out wearing the shirt, they will put them on the big screen until everyone has their shirts on. So it's a cool, almost like Stanley Cup vibe.
Oh, yeah, and good old-fashioned peer pressure, Craig. Love that.
How do they, let me ask you this, though. How do they know the sizes? What if they gave me a medium? They expect me to wear that?
It's so funny.
They're all XLs,
Harper,
they're all, but even an XL.
No, I think they're doubles, Gabe. Because there was a big dude, and they were not afraid to put him on the screen at the Pacers game on Saturday night. And Harper and I were like, oh my God, this is gonna rip. This is gonna rip. I think they don't go to the people.
My milkshakes are bigger than yours.
Yeah.
Are you?
The triple XLs, they didn't show any triple XL.
Did you do the there? It is there.
Dancing pecs, dancing pecs going on.
All right, Craig, we got to let you go. We got to get to Jason Wilde. But thanks for hanging out with us. Have a safe flight. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Jason Wilde coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. And again, remember, if you're not watching on the YouTube stream, you just missed Chewy's dancing pecs here as he sang Khalees this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde right around the corner.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 43 starting off with a bit of a backup as you're making your way around North Avenue all the way up towards Keefe. Southbound's clear. Southbound on 41, just a little bit heavy between Capitol Drive and Burleigh. Northbound is a little bit slow from just past Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner, dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly to partly cloudy skies, some haze, a high of 71 at the lake, 76 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
Sip into a flawless summer. Hey, it's KBN's Brad Nortman. Let carbless, ready-to-drink cocktails be your passport to pool parties, patio hangouts, cookouts, and pure summer bliss. Carbless is here to spark a summer of flavor and fun. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and of course, all the good vibes. From fruity flavors to refreshing fizz, Carbless stands out in a sea of same-old seltzers. See what flavors fit your summer. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and enter to win a flawless summer prize pack today.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Time to check in with our friend and teammate Jason Wilde. And Jason, how are you doing today?
I'm amazing. How are you guys?
Are you really amazing? That's wonderful to hear.
I might have been an overstatement slightly.
Okay, no problem. I just wanted to check. Because, of course, if you say you're amazing, then that opens up a whole nother, field of questions. Like, why? What's going on? Why is your day going so well? It's 7:24. So yesterday, the Aaron Rodgers news becomes official. He is, in fact, going to be a member of the Steelers. Again, I want to be clear. I don't think anyone here feels like this is that big of a surprise. Although, Gabe, you did say that the timing was interesting for you, huh?
Well, I thought that he would do this a week later. I thought he would skip out on all the offseason stuff completely, so I was a week early. I thought he was going to do this next Thursday, Friday, instead of this week, Thursday, Friday.
So, Jason, what was your initial...
That's all right. Why would you think that? Like, if he has any authentic desire to succeed, this was, for me anyway, this was always the target type for me. Like
Jason,
I'm not saying that I had my story written yesterday, but I had a pretty good inkling that with their mini camp starting on Tuesday that he was going to be in time for that.
This is a guy who has historically hated every offseason OTA and minicamp going back to 2011. Like, I've got 14 years of data of him hating all this offseason stuff. So what do you mean, why would I think that he would just skip all of it? What do you mean it's not true? He is Jason. Okay, so he wins his first MVP in 2011 after there's no offseason stuff because of the lockout or the CBA stuff that's going on. From that point on, he's been one of the guys banging the drum about doing less work in the offseason. And then he doesn't, he wins his second MVP in 2020, doesn't want to show up to the Packer stuff, doesn't want to show up to the Jets stuff.
His third MVP. That was his third MVP.
That was his third MVP. But what I'm saying is, this goes back to 2011, when I don't know if he had success without the offseason stuff, so then he figured, he's been a guy banging the drum to do less in the offseason. Yeah, but what
were his actions? Now, all right, first of all, let me
What do you mean, what are his actions? He skipped OTA last year to go to Egypt.
No. No, that's not true.
Oh, he skipped the mini camp.
Right. He was at every OTA practice and then went to Egypt during the mandatory mini camp. And his argument was that they were the exact same as the OTA. And look, I want to give credit to Evan Cohen here because he described where Rodgers is at for me perfectly, that he's at a point now where he's one of those people you have to explain your friendship with them, which I thought was a really good way to look at it, right? Because look, let me be clear, I'm not defending him because he's my guy or whatever else. I just want to make sure the record is clear. You're right, he was a critic of the amount of off-season program. But until 2020, when they had COVID and they didn't have an off-season program, his attendance was damn near perfect attendance,
sure.
Right? Like so I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Like, he may have, complained about it. I was going to use a different phrase, but I don't want to have an FCC violation. But he
you
still
could
attended.
Use that one there.
Wait, Jesse says I can't. He and moan?
Yeah, no, I thought you were going to say the B one about complaining.
Yeah.
B and moan.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. This is good. I'm learning something. But my point is that so then 2021 he stays away because he's pissed off at the organization, right? We all agree that they had an off-season program. He didn't come because they drafted Jordan Love and he was mad or whatever. 2022, he has zero excuse for no showing. And this is a conversation that I have had with him, so I'm not talking behind his back. Like, that was crap. He was wrong. Like, yeah, 2 young wide receivers, get your ass to camp. Like, there's no reason there was no reason for him to not attend in 2022. And then and we all have this person in our lives who can't actually admit they were wrong, like Fonzie, but their actions are their way of saying, yeah, I was wrong. Because in 23 with the Jets, he attended everything that offseason. And then last year with the Jets, with the exception of his Egyptian walk like an Egyptian trip, he was there for everything there. So, the idea that he has not been a good off-season teammate, with the exception of 2022 when he deserves absolutely every bit of criticism for that, I just don't think that's true, Gabe.
Well, but okay, so my point, I'm not saying that he was a bad teammate. I'm saying that he's been doesn't like showing up to these things, so you cannot criticize him if he's not under contract and doesn't show up. Like, being such a vocal critic of the off-season stuff, like, I just assumed he'd sign after all the off-season stuff was done and then show up in July for training camp.
Yeah, I think these 3 days, just if you're going to be their quarterback, even though they're not like hyper-intensive practices or anything like that, I thought he was smart enough that he would be there for that. So I was not surprised. Now, look, I do want to say this. I am super curious because if he called me for advice, I would say, dude, if you have so much respect for Mike Tomlin and you so desperately desire to rinse the bad taste out of your mouth of how terribly the New York experience went, stop doing McAfee. Don't go on all these whacked out podcasts. Be all about ball. You have 1-2 years left, whatever it's going to look like. Make it all about football and prove to people that you don't have to do all this other stuff and discuss conspiracy theories for 3 hours. Like, I would say this to him, you can't go out there and say we have to eliminate all distractions and everything that's not about football and everything else about the Jets and then do the stuff that he does. Like, if you want to go, you can do a weekly hit with McAfee and Rogan after your career's over. You've got 50 years of life left in front of you. Talk about whatever you want. But, like, if you want to give the Pittsburgh Steelers the best chance to win, and for you to end your career with some pretty cool legacy stuff, then don't do all the other stuff. Now, he might say, Jay, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That doesn't influence the football. And I would say maybe it doesn't, but it certainly influences perception. And for as much as you like to think that you don't care about that sort of stuff, we both know down deep that you do. So go out there and be the best version of you as a football player and make it all about that. That would be my advice.
Jason, what would it take for the Packers to unload Dobbs?
You choose. So why do you choose the word unload?
Because, the chatter now is they got a logjam at receiver. Everything sounds like they really like Golden. There's only so many footballs and spots on the field. I mean, if Pittsburgh went a little crazy here and said, we'll give you a second-round pick for Dobbs, you think the Packers, I would take it.
Yeah, I would drive him to the airport if I was them.
Yeah, for a second-round pick, yeah.
Yeah, no. They're not getting a second-round pick for Romeo Dobbs. But I would say this, and this was the lead to my story on Channel 3000. Somewhere in an alternate football universe, Romeo Dobbs is going into the 2025 season as the Packers' number one wide receiver. And it just speaks to how he – and look, Couch still gives me a hard time because I described him as even-keeled. But what I really wanted to describe him as from the first time I talked to him was weird. Like, he's just a different guy. And, even our conversation with him earlier in the week, I don't toot my own horn, but I think I'm okay at this whole interviewing thing. I think I'm pretty good at getting guys to open up a little bit and talk. And I've never unlocked the secret with him. And so I was going back for that story into my archives of my stories from last year about, him staying home and whatever. It's incredible to look back on, coming out of 2023, he tied with Reed for the most touchdown catches. He had the most targets. He had the most snaps of any wide receiver played. He was on the precipice of, if he'd have had a next level 2024, he might have a contract extension. He might be their clear-cut number one, even if he's not their big play wide receiver, even if he's not their down the field threat, all those other guys that you could be. I mean, he had the best rapport with Love. They worked out together in the off season. So when you say unload, I'm not saying you're wrong about that word choice. I'm saying that speaks to how bizarrely this has played out. And now it's almost a foregone conclusion that they wouldn't re-sign him to an extension, right? I don't see that. So, my only issue is I just don't, and I hate to be the party pooper, and I'm sure Matthew Golden's going to be a good player. I keep saying that he reminds me of Greg Jennings when he got here, really smooth athlete, faster than Jennings, but, seems to run his routes pretty precisely. But these practices are crap. I'm just glad that I get to watch something, but to compare it to your off-season minicamp practices and stuff like that, this is barely jog through by comparison. The only thing they do at full speed is the 2-minute periods. That's it. So, there's no real value judgments. I mean, Bulaga was asking me about Jacob Monk yesterday, and I'm like, well, I could tell you that he's the shortest guy on the line, but other than that, what's his footwork like? I don't know, because they're not even going full speed when they're, half-heartedly protecting against a pass rush.
Jason, before we let you go, do you think Packers fans want Aaron Rodgers to succeed or fail in Pittsburgh?
Obviously, paint them all with a broad brush, right? I mean, there are going to be some that want him to fail spectacularly. There are some that want him to, just judging from the response yesterday that I got, there are some that want him to be awesome except for when he plays the Packers. I can only speak for what I want, and I want him to have a year like Favre had in 2009. It doesn't affect the Packers other than the one game that they're going to play against each other. I would like to, I think, go back on the road for that one. I haven't missed not traveling that much, but that one I kind of want to go to, obviously. But, I want him to have a turn back the clock year. I will always wonder if he hadn't ruptured his Achilles 4 plays into New York, would that have still been a complete and utter train wreck because of the inertia of what a dysfunctional franchise that was, and the fact that all the people he brought with him were either late in their careers or washed or inept, like the offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know, but I want to see what it looks like if he plays like Favre did for the Vikings. Yes. Do I want to go cover Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara and have it be Packers-Steelers? Absolutely. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not.
Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day. I'm sure you won't be discussing this at all on Wilde and Tausch in just a few minutes.
No. We're going to be wall-to-wall coverage of the AmFam Championship, breaking down all the different golfers, Tung Chai, Jai-D, the whole crew. No, I'm guessing the quarterback will come up. All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde is wonderful. We have him each and every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I know, I almost said Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thursday, and Friday. Wow, land the plane, Jen. Goodness gracious. I was thinking about him saying a Favre-esque season for Aaron Rodgers. Didn't Favre and the Vikings beat the Packers that year? And Favre and the Vikings beat the Packers in 2009. Mm-hmm. So just want to make sure we put that out there. That is what I want to know this morning from Green Bay Packers fans. Are you rooting for Aaron Rodgers to succeed or fail with the Steelers? Do you want him leading this team to a Super Bowl? We're going to discuss that with this panel right after this.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's commercial payment solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline the entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line, all with the customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got some backups still on northbound 43 coming up from just north of Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Southbound is in the clear. Southbound 41, a little heavy from Hampton all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound 41 slowing from Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol, not quite to Hampton. East and westbound on 94, nice and clear. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, some haze, a high of 71 at the lake, 76 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Summertime is the time for all the big events. Weddings, milestone birthdays, even corporate events. Elevate every event with Noble Catering, a premier craft caterer in southeastern Wisconsin, preferred by over 30 venues. Noble Catering is also the exclusive caterer of Villa Terrace, an east side event treasure. And coming in 2026, Noble's new headquarters, a 400-person event venue in the heart of Bayview called Brixton's Turn. Book them for your event at noblecateringco.com.
Summerfest brings the biggest names in live music to Milwaukee's lakefront across 3 unforgettable weekends, including performances from James Taylor, Chicago, Devo, plus Richard Marx, Rick Springfield, George Thorogood, Sebastian Bach, and more. Don't miss Milwaukee's Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance on June 19th through 21st, June 26th through 28th, and July 3rd through 5th. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
Born in the heart of the earth, natural diamonds rise up like the notes of a song from the throat of Mother Nature. Rick, that was positively poetic.
Mother Nature sings diamonds.
Sarah, wow, you can sing.
Born in the heart of a plasma chamber, created diamonds fall softly like snowflakes from the heart of a star.
A star that shines like true love.
Natural diamonds are earthborn.
Created diamonds are starborn.
Kessler's has the largest selection of natural diamonds in the state of Wisconsin. All the different sizes, all the fancy shapes.
Give her a fancy diamond.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
Bigger, brighter natural diamonds.
And financing that makes anything possible.
Kessler's is the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America.
Which means we can do anything we want to do.
For you.
Mother Nature sings diamonds.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Evan Cohen here. La Quinta by Wyndham is deeply grateful for all our military members, veterans, and their families. They understand the dedication, sacrifice, and hard work that comes with serving our country. As a thank you, La Quinta offers 12% off standard rates, upgraded Wyndham Rewards, Gold Status membership, and preferred parking. They want to make sure your stay is as comfortable and rewarding as possible, and they're proud to serve those who serve. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Visit LQ.com to learn more about these special military perks and discounts. Restrictions apply.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I mean, this world is geared towards women. Like, what do we
I am
get?
stepping away from this. Goodbye.
Like, what do we get? They get a comb that dries your hair. We get a stupid razor.
Hey,
I mean, what's the coolest thing we get? They get the hair dryer?
Control.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Oh, make me over. I'm all I wanna be.
Do you want Rodgers to succeed or fail in Pittsburgh? Do you find yourself wanting Aaron Rodgers to ride off into the sunset after everything that has occurred successfully? Or do you want it to be a reminder that he had it pretty good in Green Bay? He had it pretty good with the Green Bay Packers, thought the grass was greener, and in fact it isn't. I got to tell you guys, I haven't really wrestled with this all that much. I want Aaron Rodgers to succeed in Pittsburgh. Didn't really expect that, not going to lie. Did not expect that to be the overriding sentiment this morning.
Can you say that again?
I want Aaron Rodgers to succeed, to have success, to have a winning season in Pittsburgh, to go out on top. Yeah, listen, I've spent the last few years rolling my eyes at every news and development and all of the things, the drama, the interviews, the darkness retreats, the ayahuasca, the look at me, I need validation energy. And I felt like when he left Green Bay, we were finally free of the circus, right? I think I told you guys, whew, don't have to talk about that anymore. So I figured I was pretty much done with him. But now that he's in Pittsburgh, and it doesn't really affect Green Bay all that much, save the one game, and we can talk about that, in its own silo, not for the entire season, but we can talk about how that game shakes out. I think I see him as a 41-year-old dude who got hurt, who thinks he can still play, who wants to show he's got more in him, and he's doing it with a coach he respects, with a respected franchise. He's not going to be running the place. He's not going to be calling the shots. He's not going to bring in his buddies and all of the other drama that we have seen with the Jets. I don't think it's about revenge. I think it's about legacy. I think this is his final act, and I think deep down, I think we all want to see a guy like that who gave so much to an organization, who has given so much to the league as a whole, who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I would rather see him do the Peyton Manning thing. I would rather see him go out on top than, shuffling his way to the tunnel like we have seen him before. Rodgers gave everybody a lot, guys. Good, bad, frustrating, of course. But above all, he's been unforgettable. So I think I want to see him make it work.
I do as well, as long as he shows a little humility and maybe a little self-deprecation and stop with the I'm so smart. I'm smarter than everyone, blah, blah, then I would. But if he carries on, the way he does, it's hard to root for a guy like that, right?
I'm good. I can't imagine I'm going to be paying too much attention to what the Pittsburgh Steelers do this year. I'm cool with him having success. I don't think I can get on board with him winning a championship. I don't think I can get on board with him winning a Super Bowl.
Even if the Packers are out, if they win a playoff game and then they're done, they're clearly not ready yet.
Because then there's going to be an indictment.
If
they're in the Super Bowl, Chew, they're at some point, because it's 2 weeks, right? Like you got 2 weeks between the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. At some point, there's going to be a talking point of, did the Packers do Aaron Rodgers wrong? Because, the Packers tried for all those years to get him back to a Super Bowl. Now he goes to Pittsburgh and he goes to one. Again, I find that highly unlikely because of how stacked the AFC is. And while the Steelers are good, it's tough for them to really measure up with Buffalo, with Baltimore, with Kansas City.
Gabe, let's not forget, they were in the top 10 power rankings for a long time last year.
Yeah.
With Russell Wilson.
Is legit. Yeah, that defense is legit, Chew. And they could get off to a fast start. They've got they have an easier record, easier schedule, especially earlier than the Green Bay Packers. But I don't think I want him in a Super Bowl just because of, again, the potential to glow back and have a negative reaction for the Green Bay Packers.
I want to be clear on this, Gabe. So your point that you're making is, if Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl with the Steelers, it will open up the argument that the Packers should have kept him, that they did wrong by him in some way.
No, not that they should have necessarily kept him, but they did wrong in every year since 2010. They tried. They couldn't get back to a Super Bowl. What does it say about the Packers that they couldn't build a team that could get to a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers could in 1 year?
Can we get Joshy's answer? I want to hear Joshy's answer.
Should we hold it? Should we save it? Should we wait?
I don't know.
We go to break?
Right now it's 2-1. Me and Jen don't have a problem with it. Gabe doesn't really want it to happen.
It's conditional for Gabe. I'm hearing conditions.
Where's Joshy at?
If they're the 6th seed in the AFC, cool.
I want to hear Joshy's view on this as much as the next person. But it feels like something we should tease. It feels like something that we should, right?
Fair.
Gabe, you're in agreement with me on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely, because it's going to be good.
So here's what we're going to do. We'll take a little breaky break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The question remains, do you want Aaron Rodgers to succeed in Pittsburgh? Do you want him to have success? Do you want him to ride off into the sunset, assuming this is his last season, on top? Maybe not a la Peyton Manning winning the Super Bowl, but do you want him to have a relatively successful year because he's one of the greats and the greats deserve that, even if they don't always get it? Let us know, 800-990-3776. We will hear Joshy's view on Rodgers' success in the – yeah, you're on the radio. It's okay.
Oh, really?
I was trying to set him up for, if we're talking about rings –
well, how am I supposed to answer you? I don't have a dump button here.
This is not on Chew. This is 100% on Josh. Josh should know better at this point.
Thank you, Gabe.
You can't talk into Chewy's ear and not expect him to respond. This is 1,000% on Josh.
You know what makes me happy? Joshy's answer coming up after the break. In the Jewelry Center. That's why I go there. Let's be honest, most guys don't have a clue when it comes to buying jewelry. Gabe's one of the smart ones. Got the engagement ring and the wedding bands from the Jewelry Center for his wedding in 2022. They also do in-house repairs for watches and other fine jewelry like my championship ring when it needs work. I know where I'll be taking it to the Jewelry Center. They have 3 locations to stop into, Greenfield, Brookfield, and Burlington. And if my wife can't tag along, she can look through all the many styles of diamonds and other fine cuts online at shoptjc.com. I'm living proof. Happy wife, happy life. The Jewelry Center will make it happen. Brookfield, Greenfield, Burlington, and online at shoptjc.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Set sail this June for a boundless bounty at Potawatomi. Come aboard, and you might win a share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Boundless bounty this June at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The big gig is back, starting June 19th. 9 days, hundreds of musical acts. Summerfest in Milwaukee is the event of the summer. Plus, tune into 94.5 ESPN all 3 weekends for Summerfest Saturday. Enter for your chance to win tickets to the ESPN Wisconsin app or visit summerfest.com. We'll see you out there.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC, used with permission.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
My father would always say, and there's a rhyme and a reason to it, he said, if you wear your rubbers in the house, you'll go blind. Do the two youngsters on the show here even know what rubbers are? I'm talking the ones that go over the shoes.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We've enjoyed having Professional Construction Inc. help us with our home projects. We're not the most handy people. We can handle some stuff, but not all the stuff, and certainly not a basement remodel. And that's why we called our friends over at PCI to handle it for us. And my goodness, did they do an exceptional job on our project. And guess what? They'll do an exceptional job on your project as well. Because Mike and Michelle have operated a family-owned company for more than 20 years, and they believe in building relationships and doing fantastic work on all of their projects. If you want to learn more about PCI and see their work, go to professionalconstructioninc.com. It's professionalconstructioninc.com. All right, well, Chewy teed it up. I think he said what we all wanted to say. Aaron Rodgers is now a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're asking our loyal listeners, do you want to see him succeed or fail? I said, in the shock of all shocks, even more shocking than the Pacers winning that basketball game last night, I want to see Rodgers succeed. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. I want him to have the opportunity to ride off into the sunset on top. Joshy, you agree, don't you?
No, I couldn't disagree more. I would like to start this by offering my sincerest condolences, apologies to the great fans of Pittsburgh. You hardworking, blue-collared, gritty people don't deserve this. What is coming to you is something you've never really dealt with. You've got the all-time culture killer. the coach killer, the killer of all things that may make you happy. So to them, I want to apologize and say good luck, because I hope your franchise stands after Aaron Rodgers is done with you. Because the last time I saw him, what did he do? Blew it all up. They were left picking up the pieces, the shattered remains of whatever left in Aaron Rodgers' wake. I don't see what there is to root for with Aaron Rodgers. The Aaron Rodgers we all knew is gone. The player, the guy who was able to mount incredible comebacks, there's nothing there. He's just an ego now. He's the remnants, the shattered remains of a guy who once was an all-time great. He's not there anymore. This is just simply him clinging to his ego, trying to prove that even though you can point all the fingers back to me and the failures in New York, I'm not the problem. That's what he wants. So he wants to cling to one of the most successful storied franchises and hope that the culture and the core they have there can lift him up. He's not lifting up the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a long storied history. He's going to make it worse. And I'm going to enjoy every moment as that team struggles and fights to be 500. Because the Aaron Rodgers that he wasn't that bad last year. Yeah, he was. Look at the advanced stats. I don't care about counting stats. Aaron Rodgers was throwing the ball because they were down all the time, because he was unable to score points. His EPA was one of the league average at best. His points added, all the metrics you look at, Aaron Rodgers is a husk of what he once was. And it's time he gets the comeuppance. Because they're not going to be able to say, well, it was the Jets. Look what happened. It was Robert Saleh, Woody Johnson. No. It's there. And it's going to be the final nail in the coffin of Aaron Rodgers' ending of his career. To me, good luck, good riddance. This is the last nail.
Josh, when did it go south for you?
2019? 2018? After it became clear that this was no longer about winning football, this was about Aaron Rodgers being right. It was about him sticking it to everyone else. And then every subsequent move there, he became a liar, became a guy who was thumbing his nose at everyone else, a guy who spoke out of one side of his mouth while his actions did the other. So to me, it's it. Good luck, good riddance.
Well said. Very good.
Are you changing your tune, Shoe?
No.
Well, no, because I guarantee you, after all of that, if Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are hot late in the season, Chewy is rooting for Aaron Rodgers so he can stick it to Josh
for
just
my
a little
demise.
bit. Yes, correct. Yeah, not for anything else, but just to be able to root against Josh and make Joshy uncomfortable.
Who's going to be my don't sleep on?
I also do want to address something here that we need to. Jen, what the hell are you doing here?
What?
Yeah, that was shocking.
I thought.
I mean, Josh thought he had
Yeah, that was
comrade in arms,
soldiers in arms.
Yeah.
Somebody I had standing next to me, taking all the volleys of Aaron Rodgers, and now you're rooting for him. Is this just? Do you feel bad for him? Have you reached the sympathy portion of a lost soul? And you're like, please don't go out this way? Because this is out of character for you. Frankly, I'm disappointed.
Listen, I'll tell you what my therapist would say. You're a fixer. You're a fixer. You
can't change him.
You grew up in a chaotic household. Chaos is your comfort zone. And you think you can fix them. That's what my therapist would say. I don't know if that applies here, but
what does your therapist
feels
say
relevant.
What does your therapist say about trying to fix and change people?
We haven't gotten there yet. We're still working through and you're trying to fix the problem. I don't know. I had to really think about this and say, do I want Aaron Rodgers to succeed or do I want him to fail? And at the end of the day, I hope he has found what he's looking for, man. This guy has been searching. He has been looking. He needs the validation, whether he wants to admit it or not. He finds it in football. He's exceptional at football. And I think, to your point, Joshy, the culture in Pittsburgh is established. Mike Tomlin is established. You're not firing Mike Tomlin, even though I've seen people out there saying, can Mike Tomlin survive this? Will he survive this? I feel like this will be his opportunity to just go play football. Maybe Mike Tomlin will even say to him, no interviews. Can you not do McAfee? Can you not do Rogan? Can you not do Aubrey? What is the guy's name? Marcus. I almost said Pleasant. I knew that was wrong.
Not the same guy.
Maybe they will create some guardrails, create some boundaries so that he can do what he is so good at, which is play football. And maybe they can put a support staff around him where, to your point, Joshy, even though he's older, he doesn't move the way he used to move. Maybe, I don't even know if he has the same downfield accuracy and velocity and all of those things that we have come to love from Aaron. I don't know. He looked good at times last year with the Jets. I guess I'm just to the point where I'm like, God, I'd like to. I think for the sake of football, for the sake of all of us, man, I would like to see him go out there and have some success on his way out the door.
Do we know if he's married?
No idea.
We do not. I believe.
I mean, that could change him, right? If he is. What? No?
How many times does somebody have to show you who they are before you believe who they are?
Good point.
And that's kind of what I'm.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm pointing at here with Jen. Like, I understand a healing point here would be great, and Aaron Rodgers rides off into the sunset.
So what you're saying is,
where has he proven he'd ever be that guy? Aren't you setting yourself up for more failure and more consternation and more frustration as he screams at Robert Woods, his wide receiver too, who's like 36 years old and had 200 yards receiving last year?
Josh is like,
Bobby Trees. Hey,
Josh's point is he doesn't deserve the redemption arc. That's what Josh's point is.
There's
no. Bobby Trees is going to be in the right spot. I don't know if Bobby Trees is going to be yelled at by Aaron Rodgers because he's going to get there slowly because, as you mentioned, he's advanced age, but he's going to be in the right spot.
So are we at fool me once, shame on me, fool me 63 times, shame on you?
Oh, you destroyed that.
You couldn't have nailed it more perfectly.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything he can do in Pittsburgh short of a Super Bowl appearance to erase what he did in New York. I think people are looking at that and giving him the excuse of, well, it's the Jets. No, Aaron was the Jets. Aaron built the Jets. Aaron failed. He destroyed that team.
Yeah, but, again, that doesn't matter. Nobody's going to care about that in 5 years.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think this can go a degree where you're never going to erase 4 MVPs, but people are going to look at it and go, he probably had things the right way, and he proved himself wrong time and time again.
Joshy v. Jen coming up as Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on. Stick around.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we've got some delays along northbound 43 coming up from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up towards Keefe. Broken down vehicle on the off-ramp to Fond du Lac Avenue, too, so just something to keep in mind. Westbound 94 starting to tighten up a bit from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound on 43 slowing from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. Order Dad Kringle for Father's Day at Kringle.com. Have it shipped right to Dad. Kringle.com, Racine Danish Kringles. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly to partly cloudy skies, some haze with a high of 71 at the lake, 76 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design.
Great impressions.
Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You know what would be nice is, the line they show on TV that the players can't see, to actually put that on the field so you can see how far.
Dr. Evil, it's about the sharks. When you were frozen, they were put on the endangered species list.
Well, let's entertain this for a minute, guys. He's the robot guy here, so I feel like
true. He's
technology,
invested in robots.
as far as technology goes, I feel like Chewy is leaps and bounds further than the rest of us.
I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
How would that work?
Lasers. Lasers.
Sure.
No, I'm serious.
What do we have?
Sea bass.
Right.
They are mutated sea bass.
Are they ill-tempered?
Absolutely.
Well, that's a start.
All right, from the roof or the ceiling, you just project it down.
What
and
if-
it moves
what if they
just
don't
like
have
a
air
crane.
like Lambo?
Will you get off my ass for crying out loud?
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like.
Do you want Aaron Rodgers to succeed or fail in Pittsburgh? Lots of reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and text line this morning. Lots of reaction rolling in on the YouTube stream this morning as well. I'm trying to monitor it as best I can, but it is really popping this morning. Let me go to Matt first in the 463. I'm as big an Aaron Rodgers fan as there is, but I believe the reason he's continued to play is because he's 5 touchdown passes behind Favre and $11 million behind Matthew Stafford in total career earnings. In my mind, those are the things he wants to accomplish to solidify his legacy. Gabe, interesting details there. Do you, 1, believe that's playing a role in Rodgers getting back out there on the field? And 2, what does that say about him if it is?
I don't know. Do I think he wants to make up for what happened in New York? Absolutely. I absolutely think that that's something that he's looking to do. But I don't know. At this point, he's just. There has been this flirtation before, right? Before he even went to the Jets, we all thought that the Steelers could have been a destination because he's got this. He's got a relationship, and there seems to be mutual respect between him and Mike Tomlin. So, yeah, I mean, he's got an ego. Can I blame him for wanting to add to his legacy? No, I cannot.
You think he thinks he can win it? I mean, they need a number 2. Joshy just said Robert Woods is their number 2 receiver. The old Rams. I mean, how old is he, Josh? He's got to be deep into his 30s or no?
I'll find his age here quick, but Roberts Woods
33.
He had 200 yards receiving last year. And then
so they're gonna do something.
Yes, 203 yards receiving, and it wasn't like he got hurt. He played 15 games last year. He played 15 games, so it's not like he got. Oh man, he only played 4 games last year. No, that was not the case.
I would tend to lean towards he wants to break these records because to me, over the last couple of years, it just doesn't seem like his heart is into it, right?
Well, but does showing up for this mandatory, next phase next week, does that show that maybe he's had a change of heart? Maybe he recognizes that while in the past he minimized the value, the importance, the significance of those team bonding moments, now he recognizes this is probably it. And so he better throw everything into the fire, right? You may as well.
Look, We got fooled by this last year in New York because remember he was connecting with the younger players. He was going to basketball games with Sauce Gardner and hanging out with Garrett Wilson, and then he skipped the mandatory part because who could have guessed that mandatory minicamp was going to be the second week of June? Who could have guessed that? And he happened to have this trip planned. So I don't think he actually buys into the off-season stuff. Yes, I think it looks better if he shows up. But to your point, I think for him to come back from an Achilles injury, I think that proves that his heart's into it. Because I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never torn an Achilles, but I just assumed that is one of the more grueling rehabs out there because it's not. It's one of those things that's still kind of a full 12 months, right? Recovery time from ACLs has gotten better from the time that you played. ACLs, even when you played, were like, okay, well, hopefully this guy can come back. And now, you're coming back sometimes within, shorter than 12 months. Achilles injuries, those take a long time, and it's a grueling process to come back from. So I think, to me, that proved that his heart's certainly still in it. Otherwise, he would have just said, I tore my Achilles. All right, that's it for me. I'm retiring.
But the older you get, and he's 41. Shoot, I was done at 31. The older you get, even when I was 30, it was so much harder because you had to work harder because of your age. And I'll have even dreams to this day. And my biggest fear was always I didn't do anything in the off season, and all of a sudden training camp's here, and you get destroyed because strength was such a big part of it. I don't know. To me, it's just I don't know. It just doesn't seem like his heart is all the way into it.
Well, here's the thing, Chew, and you can speak to this better than anybody else here on the panel. Having played in the NFL for as long as you did, think about your mindset after every season. What your body went through, the cold tubs, the cortisone shots, and all of the things you have to do to get yourself in a physical position to go back out there on the field and play what is now a 17-game schedule. There's a part of me that respects him for, at this stage of his career, knowing he doesn't need the money, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't change his legacy. If he doesn't go play for the Steelers, are we going, well, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. I got to think about this one. No. Right? So to me, there is something respectful of recognizing that it is going to be a grind, it is going to be grueling, it is going to be exhaustive, and yet he still wants to go through it. And look, you could argue codependency. You could argue that since this is his identity, since this is what he has always done, maybe he doesn't know who he is without the game. Sure. But I'm guaranteeing he has thought about all of that when making the decision whether or not to come back and play for this season with the Steelers.
And that's the funny thing, Jen, because he was somebody early in his career who said he was going to be done in his late 30s. He wasn't going to hang on at the end. That just wasn't, he had interests outside of football, and we've seen a lot of those interests outside of football as he's certainly gotten older. But I think if football is such a part of who he is, what his identity is, and he's having a hard time letting go, certainly a harder time than he thought he was going to in his late 20s and early 30s.
Yeah, because they all think the game's going to end when they're done. So he's like, I got to give the NFL one more year, and then it can just go away, And it happened with Favre. That's why he did it every year.
Oh, like he's the lifeline, he's the bloodline for the league.
And then 3 years later, wait a minute, are they still playing football without me? What the hell's going on here? It's supposed to end. That's their mindset.
I think the fatal flaw to the final versions of Aaron Rodgers and this little stint we're on here, this is more about proving people wrong, the naysayers, the Brian Gutekunst, and the people that he's viewed as wronged him or doubted him, more so than it is about, winning football and the culture of winning and bringing up and elevating the team. I think it's more about vanity, and I can prove you wrong. Not
well, but you don't have to buy into that metric, Joshy. We, the audience, the fans, the loyal listeners, don't have to buy into that metric. He can think that he goes out there and has success with the Steelers and that it somehow proves Brian Gutekunst wrong. But you and me and Gabe and, well, maybe Chew, if we lead him there, can recognize that those two things are not mutually inclusive. Right. Brian Gutekunst could have been moving on from Aaron Rodgers, and his success can be its own independent thing.
But all the great ones did it. All the great ones did it. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Keep going here. There's more. That just kept Brett Favre. Another one. That, you know what? And I just came to my brain. This is what makes Andrew Luck's situation so weird, where he walked away and he was considered one of the great players on that trajectory to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, just hung it up. Like, I remember when Barry Sanders is like, no one knows where Barry's at in year 9.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, the best of the best, and just quit.
I mean, that's happened twice to the Lions, but yeah, they're a great franchise.
Oh,
But what you're saying happened to Calvin with too. But so, Joshy, because that's always been what you were just describing has always been a part of his personality. Like we already knew about the letter from the grade school teacher who told him he'd never be a player. The letter he got from Purdue. Best of luck in your pursuit of a college football career.
Yeah, right. Your attempt.
He took. Yeah, your attempt at a college football career. Him sliding in the draft.
Or having to go to Butte College because he got no Division I offers. Like, yes, this has always been a part of who he is. So whether it's
that's just overtaken him, Josh. Like, before it was certainly something that motivated him. It was a chip on his shoulder. But now that has become too much? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I think it has absolutely changed the way he approaches the game, the way he plays the game, the way he views himself, the way he views his teammates. It is a personal thing more so than a team thing. I want the team to succeed. I mean, if you watched some of those late Jets games, there was plenty of times where they should just run the ball, and guess who's throwing the ball? Even though they're down 3 scores, guess who's throwing it when they get close to the goal line? He's trying to pad his stats. It's trying to be a personal thing. It's not I want my team to succeed. It's I want to prove the haters wrong. It's not team success. It's personal success.
They're all kind of like that, though.
Yeah, I think absolutely. To be great, you have to be that. But I mean, the guy can't do an interview without bringing up his haters if they're real or not. It is an all-consuming thing to him at this point. It's every interview he gets, he's railing against somebody. They don't know me. They're lying about me. This is inaccurate. It's not the same thing it used to be. It was a motivator, and now it's like a bitterness.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Who do you think will have a better record at the end of the year? Packers or Steelers?
Packers.
I'm telling you, man, that Steelers, I haven't looked at the schedule in its entirety. I'll pull it up in the break here. But I just think about some of those teams they will have to play in their own division. I mean, right now, I still think the Ravens have the nod, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's not forget, I'm telling you, they were like 7th in the power ranking for a long time. They were a top 10 team with Russell Wilson. They
stumbled down the stretch, right?
Yeah.
But they won 10 games last year. They're in the same spot as the Packers. They were a 7 seed. And their schedule is markedly easier than the Packers.
Depending on where you look and who's doing it, because different people rank difficulty of schedule, they're top 10 like universally. Where inside of that top 10 in terms of difficulty it is can change, but they are believed to have one of the more difficult schedules in all the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
800-990-3776. Still plenty of time for you to get your thoughts in on this. Do you want Rodgers to succeed with the Steelers, or do you want him to fail miserably? Type of thing. Let us know. 800-990-3776. We got to get to Rechew. Is that next or at 8:30? And why can I never remember this, Joshy?
Maybe we should have a
why you
re-lad.
Why you can't remember it, I don't have an answer. You're acting out of character today in many ways, but at least this you've maintained. You've supported Aaron Rodgers, but we are now going on year 3 of you having.
Hold on. Can I have a?
When
you know what?
is it?
Hey,
It's now or at 8:30.
Let's figure it out. Let's
Hold on. No. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we are going to do. Since Jen's not here, this alter thing is she's going to do Rechew, and we're going to see how she does. There you go.
See if Jen can remember the things that you said.
You know what? We can both play. We can both play.
Yes.
Both play
yes,
Rechew.
absolutely.
And when is Rechew again, Joshy?
We'll find out.
All right.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion and artistry and flavor with Sushi at St. Kate. It offers guests an elevated experience where freshness, creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate, the Arts Hotel, introduces the addition of an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. You can indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate. Learn more at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Smooth ride right now on the southbound side of 43. No major delays all the way to the Marquette. Northbound, a little different. We got delays from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way to Keefe. Southbound 41, a little heavy right past Hampton Avenue, and then again back on the brakes past Capitol Drive to Burleigh. Northbound slowing from Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Third Ward Beer Garden. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies. Some haze, a high of 71 at the lake, 76 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Turn your driveway into the basketball court of your dreams with Precision Sports, Southeastern Wisconsin's dealer for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator hoop systems. From installation to customizable painted court lines, Precision Sports is a slam dunk. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with Sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog.
Hey, Jen Latta here, and as a client of the We Sell Group, I can tell you firsthand, Rob and Nick make the home buying and selling process easier. Right now, school's out, and that means it's the perfect time to list your home. The market is challenging and inventory is tight, but you don't have to face it alone. Rob and Nick are pros. They take the stress off your plate so you can focus on your family, your summer, and just breathe. Contact Rob and Nick to see what your home might be worth in this market. Connect today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You called them a
And you
white
find someone
stiff
else.
earlier.
From one white stiff to another. I'm pretty well versed in the realm of stiffs.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Let me tell you about our good friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. We have loved Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin for years here at ESPN Wisconsin, and it's easy to see why. Because if it's time to upgrade your windows or doors and you don't want to spend a fortune, Pella, who is the best in the industry, by the way, putting in a new front door at my house this summer, already have everything planned out, ready to go. But Pella, they've got a product line for every budget. Plus, right now, No interest, no payments for up to 2 years. So if your plan was to wait, well, just do it now, and then you can wait and then start making payments up to 2 years later. Certain restrictions apply, and 6/30/2025. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. Or you go to Pella Windows and Doors, Wisconsin. Tell them that Gabe Neitzel sent you.
Think you know the show better than the average ESPN Milwaukee fan? Now's your chance to prove it. It's time to play The Week in Rechew.
All right, I guess we're doing this, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Chewy v. Jen earlier. Now it's it was Joshy v. Jen earlier on the Rodgers thing. Now it's Chewy v. Jen on the Week in Rechew.
So we're gonna try and do something a little fun here. I'm going to play the we're gonna play the audio, ask the question. I'm then going to make it so Chewy can't hear anything. You're going to answer, and then after that, Chewy's going to come back and answer following. Got it? Everyone clear?
He means you, Chew.
Oh, I'm going first?
No.
So no, not everybody is
Jen,
not clear.
Here's what you need to do. One of these right here. Just like they call plays.
You think you can read my lips? All right.
Yes.
I'm going to draw the middle finger on the picture when I hold it up, too. Can we do that on the radio?
All right. We ready to go? 5 questions.
Yep.
3 right, you win. 3 right, you lose, although now it's head-to-head. Joshy, question number 1.
Okay. And I don't want to disparage, but, I mean, it's just a douchebag comment.
All right, who did Chewy not want to disparage, but then, as you heard, ultimately ended up calling a douchebag?
Dan Orlovsky.
Chewy?
Hold on. What did she say? I remember it. It was, oh, gosh. Okay.
It was.
And I don't want to disparage, but, I mean, it's just a douchebag comment. That's ESPN guy.
I need more details. There's a lot of people that work in ESPN.
He's got a beard. Hold on. What the hell's his name? This is bad.
He had a beard.
Dan Orlovsky.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
hey!
Yeah. Did Jen get it?
She did. She got it much quicker than you,
instantly.
but ultimately it counts as one correct for everybody.
When he said the beard line, I was like, oh, he doesn't know.
All right, 1-1.
Question number 2, Joshy.
When did he become Penne
What do you think
instead
it
of
is?
Penny?
How do you spell Penei Sewell's first name?
Go ahead, Jen.
I think it's Penei.
Chewy? How do you spell Penei Sewell's
I need
first
to
name?
start listening more.
That's what this is going to lead
That's
to.
the whole segment.
Penne.
Like the pasta.
Like the pasta.
How do you? Did Jen get it right?
The best right tackle in football is named after pasta.
How do you spell it?
Penei.
That's close. Just an I off and one less in.
You're close. But unfortunately, you now trail 2-1.
Okay.
Question number 3, Joshua.
See, that's not anti-gush. No, is it anti-gush?
That is anti-gush.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
What was the case of the ultimate anti-gush from a former Packers head coach?
Go
Jen?
ahead, Jen.
Oh, I don't know this. Can you play the soundbite again? I'm confused about the double negatives, anti-gush.
See, that's not anti-gush. No, is it anti-gush?
That is anti-gush.
Sorry.
Yes.
I have no idea.
All right, see, Chewy, do you know the answer?
0%.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy called Lacey fat.
Oh,
we are tied. We are tied.
I thought there was no way you were going to nail that. I couldn't remember for the life of me. Holy moly.
All right, 2-2.
All right, 2-2. We head to question number 4, Josh.
I'm back on Monday. Don't make me Schefter you with a dog, okay?
What was your threat to Joshy? What was Chewy's threat to Joshy? What did that actually mean, Jen?
Yeah, that he was going to poop on him.
Okay, all right, yep, okay. Nailed it. Chewy?
That I'd shart all over you.
Still not normal.
3 to 3?
3 to 3.
Okay.
All right. This could determine the winner or loser, or we might just go home. This could be soccer. We could end in a tie. Question number 5, Josh.
Because he sucks at football.
Yeah! Get him, Chew!
I mean, isn't that fair?
Who did you accuse of sucking at talking about football? Jen?
I'm trying to think of who talked about football this week other than D.O. That's my only guess.
Chewy, who did you accuse of sucking about talking about football?
I have no idea.
So disappointing.
Did I lose?
You did not. Jen did not get it either.
I don't know who it is either.
So you guys end up tied. It was Evan Cohen.
Oh, now I remember.
Okay, so yeah, my brain was in the football space. Who had weighed in on the Packers in some way? This was Evan Cohen saying that Gabe should not be an expert.
Now, I'm calling this a win.
What?
Because the line was +2 Jen, and I tied it up. That's a win.
When was the line +2 Jen?
What do you mean you win? I had a hand just like that before. I didn't win.
Because I
This is like the Ryder Cup, Chew. When you tie, then that means you retain.
I
right?
retain?
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, this is as simple as tie goes to the runner, and between the two of us, I'm the runner. So I'm going to take that as a win. So take that. All right? Since we're just making up rules as we go here.
No, only Chewy gets to make up rules, Jen. Come on.
Yeah, I feel
Right,
good.
again, I
feel
heard
good
the Big
about
Daddy
myself.
drop. I understand.
Come on. What are we doing?
Rules should be the same no matter what age. Remember, Rob Schneider said.
Tie goes to the runner.
I just said that.
Oh, so I don't listen. I'm sorry. That's part of the problem with this.
I should win. Finding the right home is always a journey. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes you have to be patient, but it should always be exciting. The We Sell group at Keller Williams understands that. They're not just about closing deals. They want to make sure that they have built a relationship and help you find the right fit. Whether you're ready to move right now, you're just starting to look, or maybe you're thinking about selling, the We Sell group is on the journey with you every step of the way. You can start your journey now, today, at WeSell.kw.com. That's WeSell.kw.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We're moving slowly northbound on 43 from about Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up towards Keefe. We've also got delays northbound on 41, pretty much coming up from Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol Drive to Hampton. Southbound's got some backups from just before Hampton all the way down past Capitol Drive. Rest of the system looks pretty good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly to partly cloudy skies, some haze, a high of 71 at the lake, 76 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Summertime is the time for all the big events. Weddings, milestone birthdays, even corporate events. Elevate every event with Noble Catering, a premier craft caterer in southeastern Wisconsin, preferred by over 30 venues. Noble Catering is also the exclusive caterer of Villa Terrace, an East Side event treasure. And coming in 2026, Noble's new headquarters, a 400-person event venue in the heart of Bayview called Brixton's Turn. Book them for your event at noblecateringco.com.
This Father's Day, help Dad be all he can be with a gift from the Home Depot, because he's not just Dad, he's the handyman of the house, the plumber in a pinch, and the emergency mechanic. Upgrade his gear this Father's Day with the Husky Mechanics 270-piece tool set from the Home Depot. Now on special buy for $119, a $695 value. For every kind of dad, find the perfect gift this Father's Day at the Home Depot.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows, binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on Warm Weather Vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take a shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5HEshot.com for full details and rules to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Brian Balaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball as 2 of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jackson Churio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at Brewers.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Bubble is a dating app.
It's tuna.
I love tuna. I had some last night.
How do you eat your tuna?
Can we, for once, grow up on this show?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Summerfest! It's right around the corner. They're welcoming Def Leppard to Milwaukee in just 13 days. The legendary Rockers take American Family Insurance Amphitheater on Thursday, June 19th. Def Leppard will be joined by Tesla. Enjoy a great night hearing all the classics. Tickets are available. Get them today, summerfest.com and Ticketmaster outlets. Or how about you just win them right now? We have 2 tickets for caller number 5, 2 tickets for Def Leppard if you're caller 5, 800-990-3776. Who wants to see Def Leppard? Here is your chance. Caller 5, 800-990-3776.
Who will have a better record at the end of the season? Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers, or your Green Bay Packers, led by Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love? Chewy, you got the Steelers schedule there in front of you?
I do.
I think we should just go through and have you tell us wins and losses for the Steelers and see what record you come up with.
Okay. Week 1 against the Jets. At the Jets, that's gonna be a watch.
But is
just
it gonna
to see
be...
how the Jets fans react?
So a Steelers win then?
Yeah, Steelers win. Next game, home versus Seattle. That's a win. Next at Patriots. That's a win. Next game, home Vikings. That's a loss. Home Browns is the next game. That's a win. At Bengals, I'll say that's a loss. Home Packers, I'll say that's a win. Home Colts, that's a win. At Chargers, that's a loss. Home Bengals, that's a win. At the Bears, that's a win. Home Buffalo, that's a loss. At Ravens, that's a loss. Home Dolphins, that's a win. At Lions, that's a loss. At the Browns, that's a win. In home Ravens, that's a win.
So you have them splitting with the Ravens and splitting with the Bengals.
Yes.
And then everything, Buffalo is going to get them. Miami in Pittsburgh in, what is that? Is that game in December, I assume? Fourth last game on the schedule?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
15th of December.
Yep, that's a loss for the Dolphins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got them going 11-6.
Exactly like the Packers. I think I had the Packers
But
going 11 and 6.
push because you have them beating the Packers head to head.
Yeah, I think the home team wins that one. I wish that game was in Lambeau just to judge the booze against Favre.
When he said booze, I thought he meant beverages.
I can't imagine the boos would have been as strong for Aaron as they were for Brett.
I would agree. But I still think you would definitely hear it.
Oh, yeah, yes, without a doubt, Chew. But, Brett maneuvering the way he did to Minnesota, he had the ire of a lot of Packers fans. Aaron Rodgers, I feel a lot of people are just indifferent on him at this point. He hasn't done anything. He's actually even spoken glowingly about the Packers when he's done a lot of these different interviews he's done. I mean, people are still going to boo him, but he did not go out of his way to try to stick it to Green Bay the way that Brett did.
Do you remember Holmgren coming back to Lambeau for the first time? I believe it was the next year. He didn't really get – I mean, he got booed a little bit, but certainly it wasn't deafening. Actually, it wasn't that bad at all.
Yeah, I guess you tell me because I don't remember that the way I feel like I should.
Yeah. No, it wasn't bad at all. I think Rodgers would be worse than Holmgren.
So by all
somewhere
accounts,
in the middle.
By all accounts, Chew, with an 11-6 record, you think that the Steelers will be pretty good?
Yeah, and they were pretty good last year with Russell Wilson. I mean, no one thought they were going to make the playoffs.
So
Certainly be in the power rankings, top 10.
And I know we have said this, but this seems like a pretty good spot for Rodgers. It also seems like even if you think at 41 years old, he is unlikely to be able to recapture the success, the production he has had in previous years, it kind of seems like he'll be able to do enough, be able to get the job done, at least for the most part. Or are you gonna grade the Steelers' success this season on their playoff run? You know, and again, you mentioned you mentioned them losing to Buffalo. You mentioned them losing to Cincy. You mentioned them losing to Baltimore. Those are all teams that are going to be in the Steelers' way on a playoff run, most likely. Again, if the Bengals have gotten their defensive situation figured out.
I think a good season for Pittsburgh would be to win one playoff game. I would see that as a positive season. I don't see him competing when push comes to shove against Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think the last time they won a playoff game was 2016. They've got to, despite, this long streak of, making it to the postseason. They won two playoff
winning
games
records,
in
right? Or
that's
I'm
it.
sorry,
Yeah,
the
winning
distinction is
records. Yeah,
not having a losing record because they've tied a
correct. Yeah, because there are a couple of 500 seasons in there where they went 8-8. Yes, but they've never been below 500, and they've had this long run of success. But they haven't won a playoff game in almost a decade. So that would be a step in the right direction for this team if they win a playoff game. Yes.
For whatever it's worth, guys, I did pull Matt Bowen's tweet this morning. Matt Bowen, of course, who analyzes film for ESPN. On Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers, he says, the arm strength, accelerated vision are still high level. Rodgers identifies coverages, rotations with ease, and delivers the ball on time using his quick release to target smaller windows. Declining pocket poise and movement skills limit his ability to extend and create at a consistent rate. Accuracy is beginning to slide due to lower body attrition. As a pocket thrower, he fits in a Pittsburgh offense featuring quick game play action elements. I haven't studied the Steelers offense. I'm curious. I'm happy to go look. Do they use a lot of motion, Gabe?
It's Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
They're pretty stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
pretty just kind of. I mean, Arthur Smith, start counting the days, buddy. I'd start packing up the house if I were you. Get things in order.
Here we go.
It's not going to be tough for you because your father's a billionaire and you're going to be fine regardless. But he is going to hate you. Hate you.
But the shocking thing is that, just popped on the text chain is DraftKings has the odds before Rodgers to win the Super Bowl was plus 4,000. And the odds after they signed Aaron Rodgers is still 4,000.
So I saw that making its rounds. But I saw that making its rounds yesterday, Chew. Most books, I'm assuming, already accounted for Aaron Rodgers. Like, if the NFL is operating under the assumption that Aaron Rodgers was going to be a Steeler, which is why Packers-Steelers is on Sunday night in late October, I'm assuming the sports books were also operating under that assumption.
Yeah, that's a good point by
probably
you.
changed those odds.
So they wouldn't have changed yesterday when it became official. Yeah. Instead, it would have changed when it was like, this is a foregone conclusion. We're just waiting for it to.
You know what's going to tell us a lot on what the Steelers believe will be between now and training camp, or even after training camp or during training camp, is if they make a move. Because offensively, they're not good enough, right? They're not good enough.
That's
if your second receiver is Robert Woods, if they make moves, there's talk of them trading for Jonnu Smith out of Miami, who's a pretty good tight end. If they make a move, they're telling us, the organization, we got a shot at winning it all.
I think they will.
If they don't do anything, then they're like, win one playoff game.
You can't mortgage your future with Aaron Rodgers and not give him more weapons. DK Metcalf is wonderful, but aren't teams going to just try to double DK?
Well, sure, but you're I don't think you're mortgaging your future because you didn't have to give anything up for Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
And he was better than what you currently had.
Let me rephrase. If you're Mike Tomlin and you've got this record of no losing seasons, you're not okay with not having a weapon for Aaron Rodgers to throw to that might risk that, right? Again, I'm not saying let's make it the end-all, be-all, but, these guys want to win. I just don't know if, as Chewy is saying, I don't know if with the current roster that they have, the current pass catchers that they have, weapons that they have, they feel that confident. I would be shocked, I guess is what I'm saying, if they don't make a move for another offensive weapon this offseason.
Yeah, I think they kind of like Calvin Austin, who's probably their actual number 2 receiver, had almost 600 yards for them last year. But yeah, but again, it's hard. That's hard to find another guy. And I don't buy. Maybe they become interested in Romeo Doubs. I don't know where the narrative of, oh yeah, Romeo and Aaron, they got along in Green Bay. Didn't Romeo give an interview where he kind of said disparaging things about Aaron Rodgers?
Well, he said something about when he talked to me.
Yeah, we had a good relationship despite him hardly ever talking to me, I believe was pretty close to the quote. I went over to our friends at Potawatomi Sportsbook. The Pittsburgh Steelers are plus 5,000 to win the Super Bowl. The teams around them are the Dallas Cowboys. They're the same odds. Teams with better odds: Denver Broncos, Chicago Bears, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Minnesota Vikings, Los Angeles Chargers, Houston Texans, LA Rams, and then all the way up to the Packers at plus 2,000.
Wow, they don't really think much of Rodgers then.
Do you have numbers, Joshy? And I know you have to pull them up for the AFC Championship. For them to be in the AFC Championship?
AFC Championship, they are plus 2,200 behind the Broncos, Texans, Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens. They are just ahead of the Miami Dolphins at plus 3,000. And then next is the New England Patriots at 35.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm telling you, they're telling you there's not really one.
I believe that is... All right. He's so mad at me still. He's not even going to play along with my jokes.
No, he's... Well, because, you turned your back, not only did you open up your arms to Aaron Rodgers.
No,
in order
let's
to do that,
not go
you had
that
to turn your back
far.
on Josh.
Let's not
You basically
be
gave me the finger right to my face.
Exaggerating.
No, you turned, no. She said she had 2 words for you, Joshy. Gave you the crotch chop and turned around to hug Aaron Rodgers. That's what happened.
Feels about right.
We got to take a break. Can't trust any of y'all's judgment. Take a break. Roll on right for this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
For your next big event, Noble Catering has to be your first call. Southeastern Wisconsin's premier craft caterer, preferred by over 30 venues in the area. And coming in the spring of 2026, Noble's new headquarters, Brixton's Turn, a 400-person event located in the heart of Bayview's Harbor District. Have beverage needs for that upcoming party? Neat Beverage Catering offers mobile bartending to elevate the event. And last but certainly not least, check out the stunning riverfront bar inside the Associated Bank River Center Vault, a perfect summer spot before a night out on the town or a ball game, featuring happy hour specials, a menu with tremendous flatbreads, and a raw bar, and of course, an incredible view of the Milwaukee River.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. With Saver, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
The Protect the Package golf outing takes place on August 16th at Ironwood Golf Course. Come be a part of the most unique outing in the state while helping loved ones battle cancer. Proceeds benefit the This Time Tomorrow Foundation. Sign up your foursome at thistimetomorrow.org under the Events tab.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, the Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call The Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnofthebog.com.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from Mr. Irrelevant, and we are hitting the road. Friday, June 13th, spooky. We're heading to Door County Distillery in Carlsville. If you're spending the weekend in Door County, come check out Door County Distillery and hang out with us from noon until 2. That's Friday, June 13th at Door County Distillery in Carlsville. But even if you're not heading to Door County anytime soon, you can bring Door County to you with their cherry brandy for your old fashions infused with Door County cherries, whiskeys, rums, and plenty more. Check them out, doorcountydistillery.com.
Don't miss 3 weekends of live music at Milwaukee's Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance, including Devo, James Taylor, Chicago, plus Richard Marx, Rick Springfield, George Thorogood, and more. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Look, you take Jesus and the presents out, and it's not even in the top 10.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you take sex out of the anniversary, then that's not that fun either.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We go.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. For Mental Health Awareness Month, BetterHelp surveyed 16,000 people across 23 countries for its first ever State of Stigma report. They found that while 75% of people, 3/4, know it is wise to seek support. Only 27% of people, just over a quarter of them, are actually in therapy. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It impacts their families, their workplaces, and entire communities. And look, we understand why people hesitate to get help because there is still a stigma attached to it. So the folks over at BetterHelp are trying to get away from that. They're trying to make therapy convenient. They're trying to give you the option of a click of a button. Finding a therapist who works for you. Switching therapists at any time if you feel like, you know what, this person just isn't working for me, but I recognize the importance, the value, the significance of getting help. They've got more than 35,000 therapists. They serve 5 million people globally. Why not you next? Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout and you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout. We are all better with help. Let's check out some of the polls we put on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account this morning. Our Infinity Exterior Twitter account, Twitter polls, rather. I don't even remember where we started. Are you rooting for the Indiana Pacers to win the NBA Finals? 62% of people say no. I kind of am. I know ordinarily this would be shocking. Gabe, why are you shaking your head at me?
What do you mean, why am I shaking my head? Because it's just the opposite day for Jen today. Just doing all the things that she should be doing. Yeah.
The highest order.
Rooting for the Pacers, wanting Aaron Rodgers to succeed. I don't know. Did you just not get a lot of sleep last night? Like,
Such good
what's
sleep
going
last
on?
night.
Fever.
Feel very good. I am doing this hormone thing, though. So maybe, Chewy, you got the pellets happening here. Maybe the pellets are making me look at things a little differently. What team do you think will have a better record in 2025? Green Bay Packers or Pittsburgh Steelers? This one, runaway. Green Bay Packers, 84% of people. Although Chewy went through the schedule and came up with the same 11-6 record that he guessed for Green Bay earlier this year. How confident are you, Chew, that it will be 11-6, 11-6? Pretty confident?
Yeah, feels right. Feels pretty good.
And finally, are you rooting for Aaron Rodgers to succeed or fail in Pittsburgh this season? Not shockingly, this one little closer. 59% of people say succeed, 41% of people say fail, although Todd weighs in and says, where is the don't care option? Okay, Jay Cutler. Gabe, do you understand the don't care sentiment?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because I think a lot of people have just kind of moved on at this point. I guess I'm more there. Like, yeah, he can have success to a point. Again, I don't want him going to any Super Bowls or anything, but, have fun there in Pittsburgh. Do your thing.
Another week of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy in the books. Wildy and Tausch is coming up next on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Northbound on 43, backing up from North Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Southbound's clear. Southbound 41, heavy from Silver Spring all the way down to Burleigh. Northbound slowing down just before North Avenue all the way up